Hello, welcome back to Defend Philly. We have an emergency podcast episode coming at you today on this Tuesday because tonight the Flyers play ice hockey, and you know who will be alongside them? Who's going to be skating in the orange and the black?
Porter Martone!
There you go. Yes, Porter Martone is expected to make his NHL debut, his Flyers debut tonight with the Flyers, who actually might make the postseason for the first
Making me
time since
believe.
2020.
They're making me believe.
They're making you believe. We'll get into it. We'll get into it fully. But where we're at right now, Flyers play the Capitals tonight. So we thought, let's hop on, do a quick pod, break down everything that's happened because it's been a couple weeks. It's been about 2 weeks since we've talked. So first of all, Lewis, you're believing, you're bought in.
I'm bought all the way back in. I think this team just has no quit. I don't know if you saw the video, Rick Tocchet's rousing speech after the huge win against Dallas, breaking a home losing streak they'd had for I don't even know how long, going 8-1-1 in their last 10 games. Since the Olympic break, they've been on an absolute tear. Rick Tocchet's final message to the team at the very end of the video was F everybody. And that just I think that just speaks to the type of coach he is. The eruption from the players in the locker room speaks to how much they want to play for him. The way they've been playing speaks to the mental toughness that this team has, and honestly, their buy-in with the Rick Tocchet system. And I've been saying it all year. I'm not ready to get rid of Rick Tocchet. Everyone's been freaking out. Get fire this bleep, whatever. I think it's too early for that. And clearly, they're showing that he's doing something right in an extremely important time of the season down the stretch here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in. I've been in. I think that this is above expectations, so I'm just happy to see how it goes. I don't really know if I believe. I'd be very happy, but I don't really know if I believe that this team can really string it together. I mean, there've been a lot of goods. There's been a lot that's been good, but let's see. I mean, they have 9 games left. As of right now, I believe they're 2 points out of the second wild card spot, the Columbus Blue Jackets.
And 3 points out of the third spot in the Metro. The
Yes,
Islanders have
Islanders.
89 points, the Flyers have 86. So,
Yeah.
like,
This is an
oh,
important
yeah.
couple weeks of games, and we can see if they can put
Yep.
it together. I'm very excited to hear everything. I mean, there's so much to break down, but the biggest thing for me recently is you listen to the podcast, you know, two things about me. One, I love goaltending. Two, I love Owen Tippett. One, we'll start with one. To start off, Dan Vladar has been the same. He has been amazing. But the fact that Sam Ersson was able to step up and actually be a good goaltender, like he has been showing up and performing. He's what, 5-0 and has a .933 save percentage in the last 6 games. Like he is on fire and he is reliable, which is the biggest thing that we lacked from him. And we needed reliable, like a reliable netminder, and we finally have someone there who can be, and they both can be. And going back and forth, that's just like, oh, it's so helpful. And then it gives the offense opportunities to not be playing catch up all game. And you know who else is on fire? Owen Tippett. Owen Tippett had a hat trick the other night, and even though I don't believe he didn't have any goals, but I don't think he had any points in the game on Sunday. But like Tippett's ability to set up plays, he's been all over the ice, he's been helping out. He has been an incredible player for this team, and he has honestly helped them with this whole comeback. Like he's a big part of this comeback. Him and Harrison deserve a lot of credit. And so, you know, when the goalie's getting credit, when Tippett's getting credit, I'm happy because I'm always a Tippett fan. And when he can put those 7 things together of skating, puck handling, shoot, like he can get it all together, which he has been able to do, I'm very happy.
Yeah, no. And on the flip side of that, if you've been listening to the podcast, you know my thoughts on Owen Tippett. It's been nice to see him play consistently. You're right, he didn't have any points in the game against Dallas, but in the last 5 games, nothing against Dallas, four against Detroit, two against Chicago. He didn't have any against the Columbus Blue Jackets, but then back on March 21st, he had a point. So
12
in the
points in the last 12 games.
yeah, he's been playing really well. The one thing that I will say is that it's pretty unbelievable to me that it's taken 8 years and 73 games for him to finally put it together. Because that's how long he's been in the league, and that shouldn't be for a guy of his skill level. So if all of a sudden, late bloomer would be the understatement of the century if he's all of a sudden on the ESPN broadcast. I think it was against, I don't remember which game it was. It might have been the
Wings,
Detroit game. Um,
his hat trick night.
yes, they. I think it was Kevin Weeks or somebody on the broadcast, or I'm sorry, PK Subban. It wasn't Kevin Weeks. It was PK Subban. He said, "Oh, Owen Tippett, future 40-goal scorer." I mean, I think you might be able to say that about Porter Martone because Porter Martone is making his NHL debut tonight. But Owen Tippett's NHL debut was 8 years and 70 games ago, and I don't. But I believe I looked it up. I don't think he's ever had more than, let's see, he's never had more than 28 goals in a season. So I don't know where PK Subban is saying future 40-goal scorer because the future was, I don't know, maybe give him the first season that he played like more than half the season was in 2022. So
Yeah.
2021.
And the thing
So
with him is like we've seen it all season. Like he has glimpses of playing well, but if he can play well when it comes down to it and it comes down to the pressure, like okay, like ideally, we'd have a full 82 game player who can score consistently. If he can't, and he can only score consistently during periods and he can turn it off and on, if he's turning it on right now when it really matters and the Flyers actually have a chance of making the postseason for the first time in 6 years. And let's be honest, the bubble was the bubble.
yeah,
It
it didn't
counts,
count.
but it
Eh,
doesn't.
Yeah,
It doesn't count. Um, but that team, like, that's the last time we were excited about it. And
yeah,
also, the Flyers are back in the conversation. You brought it up earlier, but Porter Martone making his Flyers debut tonight. We have waited, I think it was over 17, no. We have waited for a while for this to happen. I think it was over 1,700 days because this is the same night that Andrew Painter is making his
yeah.
debut for the Phillies. The Phillies have waited 1,700 days and some, and we have not waited nearly as long. We've waited a
Yeah,
couple months, and we're finally getting his debut, and I'm very excited to see this.
yeah. How about? I mean, taking it out of hockey just for a second. Yeah, how about the city? This might be a historic day in Philadelphia. If Andrew Painter goes out and deals on the mound for the Phillies, and then Porter Martone plays, remotely well. I mean, I think this could be like the beginning of these two players starting their careers in Philadelphia on the same night. I mean, that could be pretty damn crazy. And I mean, Martone had a hell of a year at Michigan State. 50 points in 35 games, 25 goals, 25 assists. I mean, and look at this, 78 penalty minutes. Like the kid,
He
the
can play.
kid is the real deal.
Yeah. And like the year before, I think the season before he was drafted playing the OHL, like he is a strong, I think he had 90 points.
98
Yeah.
points in 57
98
games
points. Like he
in the
dominated the
OHL.
OHL. Then they said, we're going to need a little more time for him to develop instead of sending him back to the OHL, which
He
clearly
made,
we know.
yeah, yes, and he made the decision to go to Michigan
And
State and talked about how it was one of the greatest decisions he's ever made.
to go to the NCAA bulk up, I think he's gained
He gained
10
like
pounds
12 pounds and
and went
lost
down muscle
3%
mass.
body
Okay,
fat.
we're reading the same stuff.
Yes, we are.
He gained he gained weight, he bulked up, he had the time in the gym, and he is now ready to make his debut. And I am so excited because I think his obviously he's an all-around player, but his ability to get the puck around the boards and like get those like little crevices and I'm so excited to see what he can do. And one last point outside of it, the amount of pressure on Andrew Painter right now, he better do well. Otherwise,
Phillies
someone was
going
like,
one
no
and
pressure. I saw it on
161.
Twitter. Someone was like, no pressure in your debut, but I will literally never support you again if you do bad. But the Flyers are where the positivity is, and they're where postseason is potentially. So let's hear it. What are you most excited about Porter?
Yeah, I mean, I think I am mostly excited just listening to him speak. I mean, this kid he's been dealing with it for, this type of hype for a long time, and he's been a pretty highly touted prospect for a very long time. I think you mentioned board battles. He's 6'3", 210. I mean, I was talking to a buddy earlier. John LeClaire was 6'3", 230. And we know how John LeClaire's career was in Philadelphia. I mean, he is one of the greatest Flyers ever. So, and I'm not saying that just because he's big and strong like LeClaire means that he'll be like, I don't know what his future holds, but based on everything that we've seen from Porter Martone, he is the real deal. This kid is really strong on the puck, has a heck of a shot, can bully people, and that's something the Flyers don't have. Guys like Travis that can, time winner against Dallas. I mean,
It was
he went
beautiful.
in nonchalant on his off wing and ripped it through Casey DeSmith's 5 hole. Like, we
It
have
was
guys like
beautiful.
that, but Trevor Zegras will. He's like a he's like a tennis ball bouncing off a watermelon for most of the time. Like these NHL guys who are just really really big, he can't win physical battles as much as you'd like to see. So a guy like Porter Martone, who it looks like he's playing with Konechny. What did we say? He's
He's on the
according
power
to
play.
Jackie Spiegel, he's playing with Konechny and Dvorak on the second line, and will be on the first power play unit tonight
Yeah.
in Washington. So I'm really excited for that. I think the other thing that I'm really excited for is just how much of a leader this kid can already be. I mean, he wore the C when he was with the Brampton Steelheads in the OHL. He wore the C for Team Canada this past year in the World Juniors. I mean, he had a little, he had a little bit of an incident there where did you see that? He like tapped the guy on the butt or whatever, and some sort of taunting thing.
Yes.
But when he spoke, I believe it was Kevin Kurz. I was reading his article about Martone. He spoke to Martone, and a lot of the media spoke to Martone this past week, or the past few days, and it was really interesting. Martone said, you know, I've been dealing. I felt like I had a target on my back a lot when he was with Michigan State. I mean, it being such a highly touted prospect. He said, and I've learned how to deal with that type of thing. So I think tonight he's up for the occasion. I think he's ready to go for a big moment like this. I don't think he'll shrink in when the lights are brightest. I mean, they had a chance to go to the Frozen Four, and he was playing really well all season. So, I think the kid's been put in some really tough situations, and
Yeah. I'm
I think
excited to see it. But in a
yeah,
corresponding move, Alex Bump is a healthy scratch. So let's break that down. We were talking about it a little bit before we
yeah,
started filming, but I'm okay with this move. I know you're not. I'm okay with this move because I think that having two young wingers in the lineup is something that you don't want to have for his debut. I think that bringing in a veteran like Grunstrom is like a good move just for this first game. Honestly, just for this first game. Bump hasn't been great over the past few games. He's not playing amazing. And I think sitting him for one, letting him watch, fine. I'm okay with this. Like, I really am okay with this. I think that it is a smart move by Talkett. And based on where we are right now, I'm trusting Talkett.
yeah. I mean, if you put it that way, sure. I mean, and I've been trusting Tocchet pretty much all season. I think there were some things during the course of the season. I was like, that's a little weird, but I mean, I understand your point, but it's not like Carl Grunstrom's like some,
Mhm.
fantastic player. I mean,
No.
he's been in the league longer than Alex Bump, obviously. Alex Bump made his rookie debut a few weeks ago.
Yes, yes.
Um, but I mean, you still have Michkov, you're gonna have Martone, you have Barkey. Like there are still some young wingers. I guess, I get if there'd be one, two, three, four young wingers in the lineup, okay. But I mean, you know, I think the youth movement is where we're going with this team. And I think in the playoffs, that's what's going to honestly make the difference. I realize that, Alex Bump has only had 2 points in the last 5 games, but you need a guy like that that's going to shoot. He didn't have any shots on goal in Detroit against Detroit. He didn't have any shots on goal against Dallas, but he had 4 shots on goal against Chicago. The kid gets pucks on net. And I think that's something the Flyers seriously need because
Yeah.
they're too timid with the puck a lot of times. They don't put the puck on net. And we've been seeing it all year, and people want to say, oh, that's Rick Tockett's, coaching system. Whatever it is, you need a guy like Alex Bump in the lineup. And so I guess I get,
I get
having
scratching him for a game. I really do.
I guess, but I don't know. I think just throw everything you've got, all the skill you can possibly have in a situation where this is it. This is it. It's
Yes.
playoffs or bust right now.
Yes, but that being said, there are 9 games left in the season, and the way the standings are, we were talking about this prior, but like there's no calculations yet. You can
No.
calculate the Flyers. I think the Athletic said they have a 22% chance of making the postseason. I know Money Puck said they have a 27% chance of making the postseason. But as it stands right now, there's no calculation of they must win every single game. It comes down to how the other teams play, how the breakdown goes. Each game
Yeah,
is very, very, very important. I mean, you're still trailing, but like,
right.
say, like you can't like put a number on this is how many points you need. This is how many, like we're not at that stage yet. So I think that,
I understand.
go ahead.
No, I understand that, but the thing is it's kind of like it's kind of like go all out right now. You give everything you've got for the day. There's not a situation. This is not a situation where you play it smart. Like you leave it all out there. If they win tonight in regulation against the Capitals, they have a 39% chance of making the playoffs. That jumps up from, you're right, it's 27. So these numbers they're big leaps and bounds if you can win. And so to me, every single game you have to be putting your absolute all on the ice because you're right. Okay, like I understand. Yeah, it matters what the Blue Jackets are doing. It matters what the Senators are doing. It matters what the Red Wings are doing. But you just got to compile points,
I,
and the best way to do that is put all your talent on the ice.
I hear you, but that's not the Flyers of 2025, 2026. The Flyers
It
of
should be.
2025, 2026 is setting the foundation and building, and you don't want to butcher this kid's debut. You do not want to butcher his. I'm serious, and this is how I imagine Briere and Jonesy and Tocchet are thinking. They're thinking that like you get one debut. Like this season, they're not trying to win the Stanley Cup playoffs. They pretty much know that they are not going to win the Stanley Cup playoffs. So they could go really hard and push right now, put a lot of pressure on everything. Porter Martone could have a debut that's terrible. He's stressed. Everyone turns to him, blames him. He plays poorly, stuff like that. There's just so much that can go wrong that I think setting it up so that he has a good debut and setting it up so that this team this team doesn't like necessarily like the goal isn't like it's great that they're close to making a postseason, but that's not the goal of the season. The goal of the season was to start developing players and start building a foundation to later build upon so that later they will have a chance to go all the way. And right now, having like your number one star prospect starting, you cannot screw up his start, right?
But what is Carl Grundstrom going to do
I
to
know.
help his debut? And what
I
would
know.
Alex Bump take away from it? I don't think it would be. It's like, to me, it's a meaningless move.
I think having a veteran there
I
who
guess.
I just think having a veteran there instead of a basically rookie is just your better choice in in this instance. I don't know. Let's talk about the
Yeah.
defensemen too. Since coming back from the Olympics, Sanheim and Risto have been solid. They
Yeah.
have probably been one of my favorite parts, besides the
Yeah.
goaltending
Sure.
pivot of this team. I mean, just watching the two of them play, I mean, they've literally, it's been incredible to see. And
Yeah.
it's been something that we've kind of looked for from a while. And I don't know what happened at the Olympics, but they came back and they have been as strong as ever.
Yeah. It's been good to see Ristolainen, because I think it makes not trading him hurt a little less. So, I mean, I was a big proponent of his value will never be higher. This was the time you needed to trade Rasmus Ristolainen right now, and I still believe that. I still firmly believe that they missed a huge opportunity to trade Rasmus Ristolainen. But if we want to be positive, because today is a very positive day, to your point, he's been looking really good. And I don't know if they're in this situation without his, strong defensive play. Sanheim's looked good. Drysdale's been
Fine. Did I
okay.
say did I say Sanheim or Drysdale?
I think you said Sanheim. Yeah.
Okay, good, keep it.
Yeah. Ristolainen and
Yeah.
Sanheim. That's what, yeah.
Risto
Ristolainen and
and
Sanheim
Sanheim
have
have
been
been
good.
great. Drysdale's been
Drysdale,
fine. Fine.
he is
But
not, he is not worth Cutter Gauthier. And I get that the Flyers were in a tight situation and Gauthier was never going to play here and whatever. But holy cow.
but Gautier's been coming back up, and I gotta tell you, Lewis, right now, I'm gonna Danny Briere. I'm gonna use his own words on you. That's in the past.
Oh no, sure, sure. I
Looking
this is the
forward.
other thing I wanted to say about Martone that I found really interesting. And speaking of Cutter Gauthier, the Cutter Gauthier situation, I know the Flyers had some, and I don't really want to rehash it because yeah, it's in the past. The Flyers definitely had some, blame in that because somebody said he wasn't ready to play, and that's clearly untrue. But Cutter Gauthier, blew off John LeClair several times, basically ghosted the Flyers. Like, that's not very professional. But you know what I loved to hear from Porter Martone?
What?
He met with the Flyers coaching staff over 10 or 15 times during the in Michigan State. He said every time the Flyers would send someone, they'd go out to dinner after the game, they'd talk. He met with Riley Armstrong, who's the Flyers. I believe he's like the development coordinator, or like the head of development with the players. I know Kevin Kurz did a piece on him before, and he talked. Martone said, "Yeah, I met with Riley Armstrong almost every week. 10 times or whatever. Maybe not every single week, but he said I met with him like over 10 times, breaking down film.
He wants to be here.
The Flyers were in my ear about what they wanted to see me do and how they wanted me to develop. Obviously, Michigan State did a fabulous job with their training staff and their coach Nightingale and their coaching staff. But he said Martone was he said the Flyers treated me so well. He talked about how great his experience was being, talking to the Flyers front office and how they were integral in his development. So to me, and I just think that just proves clearly if there was really something that wrong with the Flyers front
Yeah.
office, I don't think Porter Martone would have been like, oh, it's absolutely fantastic. Blah, blah. He gushed about them.
No, he did.
I don't think that would be the situation if the Flyers front office really sucked like everyone thinks it did after the Cutter Gauthier situation. I just think Cutter Gauthier is, you know, there's some choice words maybe that I
There's a
want to say.
want to play here, and you can tell that Porter Martone has it. And you can especially tell by let's talk about that iconic photo of him and Wayne Simmons. That
Yeah.
photo resurfaced. I love it. I love
He
everything
was
about it.
born to be a Flyer.
Born to be a Flyer, and I am so excited for tonight. And puck drops at 7 p.m. So lock in. I don't think I've ever been more locked in on a Flyers game than I am. And I
Maybe
watched,
besides Michkov's debut.
I don't even
I
know.
was locked in on Michkov's debut.
Fair. I think I wasn't at the time, but I'm very excited to see there's so much at stake here between the debut, between the playoff chances. It's going to be a great game. We will obviously recap and we'll check back in because there's going to be a lot of Flyers news in the coming week.
Yes,
Yeah,
there is.
there is. There always is. As always, thank you for following Defend Philly. Catch us on YouTube, Twitter. Oh, yeah, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram,
TikTok.
TikTok, TBD,
We're,
Spotify. We'll
yep,
actually get that done.
still haven't updated Spotify. We will.
And yeah, thanks for watching.